This is a CVT guitar lesson from my good buddy Jason, and what I titled this was alternate picking extended, because what you wanted to work on was obviously alternate picking, but you wanted, the way you explained it was you're used to like the 3-string runs, but you wanted to involve longer than 3-string runs with the alternate picking. So a lot of stuff's entailed in it, Jason. You know, you got to build up dexterity and, you know, make sure your hand's not getting tired out when you're playing. So if you got a drum machine, that'd be a good option for working on these. So let's jump in. The first one is A diminished, and like I said, everything in here is straight alternate all the way through. And what we're going to do is 2 notes per string, starting on 4E to 7E, down up. And you could palm mute it, you could not palm mute it, either way. Now, the easy way to memorize this, the diminished, is you're going to be skipping 2 frets per string. So now go to the next string, the A string, and go 5/8. Now, you've done a lot of CVT lessons. You're my top CVT guy, and we have worked on stuff, you know, White Cross, where Rex is doing diminished, and Akira, George Lynch. So I mean, it's common for rock and metal. But 4/7, 5/8, 6/9, 2 notes per string, E, A, and D. Okay, and then I'm going to go back. I'm going to kind of call it a 3 pattern, because we're going to use 3 strings, go up a string, use 3 strings, go up a string, and do that concept till we get to the high E. Now 5/8 on the A, 6/9, 7/10 on the G. So see what I mean by the 3s? But you know, you want to keep it running with no pauses. And then we're going to go 6/9 D, 7/10 G, and then here's where it gets a little trickier, 9/12 B. And I'm using finger 1 and 4 for all of this. You wouldn't be wrong if at some point up the neck you wanted to go 1st and 3rd finger, but that's up to you. Everyone's finger length is different, so that'll probably be, you'll notice one of the trickier ones is transferring from the G to the B string. Okay, back to G, 7/10, 9/12 B, 10/13 E. And I just resolve it on the 12 E. Actually, no, I didn't on this one. Just do an A5 power chord on the end. So little increments, okay? When you're don't overpick. That's something you got to be careful of. If you're palm muting something, then you know you're going to tend to not overpick, because palming restricts your movement a little bit. But practice it with palm muting, without palm muting. I'd rather hear you do a moderate tempo or even slow tempo that's solid and steady than fast and all over the place. You know what I mean? So number 2, this is I don't know that I've ever showed you this before. I don't think so. One of the first finger exercises I learned, and I still use it to this day. And I mean, since 1982, and I really like it. It's so it's a 4-note pattern, and it crosses between 2 strings. The frets are the same as the fingers: 4E, 3A, 2E, 1A. So if you let it all out, it looks like that, right? So like a zigzag thing. But catching the outsides of the strings, down, up, and then we'll just take that, apply it to the A and D string, all the way down, D and G, G, B, B, E. Okay, and then try to play it without pausing. And don't think like you have to jam through it, Jason, because I want you to be able to watch what you're doing with this hand. Make sure that it's not tensing up, or, you know, you should be able to be somewhat relaxed in this. So another thing you can do is take the pattern and move it up chromatically, a half step at a time. You know what I mean? Just take the pattern and move it everywhere. Great for this hand, and bringing the 2 together. Number 3 is a C major, and this one, man, Jason, this is probably one of the ones I like the most, and it's actually something I learned from Paul Gilbert. lesson. And it's 8, 10, 12 on the E. And once again, we know this is all alternate picking because that's what the CVT is titled. It goes. Oops. See, I need to take my own advice. I got sloppy on the end there. But it's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's kind of like a 12 pattern. 8, 10, 12 E to 8 A. And you can subgroup this stuff, you know, practice just the 4 notes. Make it a triplet. Then add the ascending, descending. So that's going to go. And then ascending, just straight up the scale. 8, 10, 12 on the E and A. That's our 12th note. And of course you can always add palm muting if you got distortion here, or if you don't. Alright, so we're going to take that pattern and apply it to the A and D string. Actually, the shape's going to change. Now go 8, 10, 12 A. Okay, so that's the start of our next 12. 9 D, upstroke, and then descending. 12, 10, 8. Ascending. 9, 10, 12 D. So if we subgroup that secondary group of 12 notes, you've got this. And then connect all of them, the 24. Okay? And then we're going to continue on from there. 9, 10, 12 on the D to 9 G. That's our upstroke. Once again, subgroup it, man. Just do that. Ascending, descending. And then do the straight scale without skipping any tones. 9, 10, 12, D, and G. There's our third grouping of 12. Okay, gets a little trickier now. Usually when you got the B string involved, it will be. 9, 10, 12 on the G to 10 B. Now, I like to go index, but you could use your middle. Like, just mess around with it. And then descending, 12, 10, 9 on the G. But once again, we could subgroup that. Descending on the G, 12, 10, 9. And then follow the straight scale, 9, 10, 12. 10, 12, 13 on the B. So those 12 notes. Then we're going to finish it off. 10, 12, 13 on the B to 10 E. And then descending, 13, 12, 10 on the B. And then follow the straight scale, 10, 12, 13, B, E. That gives you. Now, if you want, since we're way up the neck here, we could go finger 1, 2, 3 if you wanted. It's really good to practice both finger patterns, but so our scale is this. Okay, that's number 3, which takes us into the top of page 3. Alright, number 4, it's kind of a Malmsteen style here. A few different keys. We're going to call it A minor. I started the intro to the CVT with that. So 10 E, we're going to slide to 13. And then 12, 10 on the E, up, down. So sometimes we have 3 notes on the string, sometimes we have 4, sometimes we have 2, and to keep the straight down up can feel a little weird. And this one might present itself like that. We'll have to see. 13, 12, 10, 9 on the B, starting with an upstroke. So we went from 3 notes to 4 per string. So group those 4. We've got to use that index, move it over twice. Okay, now we're going from 4 notes on a B string to 2 notes on the G, 10-9, up, down. So we have a 3, a 4, and a 2. Pretty cool. And you'll get used to it. It's just, you got to go over it and over it. 12, 10, 9 on the A. 12, 11 on the, or no, on the D. 12, 10, 9 on the D. And then 12, 11 A. A little vibrato in there. Oh, I butchered it. Okay, that was number 4. Number 5. I figured let's move into some pentatonic stuff. This is a B minor pattern we're going to use, pattern 1, and I kind of call this a 6 pattern. You hear players like Randy Rhoads and Zakk Wylde. You know, you hear like that type of vibe. Eric Johnson. So I'm going 10-7 E and B, starting with the downstroke, and then 9-7 on the G. Now you know the scale, Jason, because you know. So if you know that, it's all about memorizing the pattern within. So we got a 6 pattern. Then we're going to go back to the B string and do the same concept. 6 more notes. 10-7, 9-7, 9-7. Okay, so okay, 9-7s, G, D, and A. And then end it with 9-7 D and A to 10-7 E. Another little thing I want to point out is when you have these grouping things where you hear me talking about the 6 patterns, accent a little harder on the first note of every 6th. So and sometimes it'll just kind of help that groove kind of come together, you know, and speed up the riff, which is something, if we're working on alternate picking, obviously that's one of the goals. Alright, so that's number 5. We're going to do another one in E minor. It's a pattern 1, E minor pentatonic scale, and this one is very similar, but it's what I'm going to call a 4 pattern. And you can experiment with fingerings, but so basically think about it like this: 15-12 E, of course, down up, and on the B string go 15-12 twice. So 14-12 on the G twice. Oops. 14-12 D. So up to there. Yeah. That one, if we accent in 4s, though, you would have. Say 14-12s on the D and A, and then 14-12 A, 15-12 E. So. Here I'm accenting harder. I want you to really try to apply that concept. I've heard you play, you're a good player. So this is just going to be able to hopefully put that drive in the riff and help you be able to speed it up and play it clean and fast. So if you don't accent it, you know, it can actually create a different feel. You know what I mean? As opposed to you know what I mean? So it's pretty cool just by accenting, picking a little harder. Okay, top of page 4. Actually, that's where this one finishes. And then number 7, we've got an E minor run. Players like 𝐂𝐍𝐒, just Matthias from Scorps. I mean, Rex Carroll use these type of patterns. I love them. So this is an E minor, and I call it a 4 pattern. Oops. How did I end that? That is how I did that. So your scale from the high E string up is 10-8-7, and then 10-8-7 B, 9-7 G, 10-9-7 on the D and A. So pattern. That's what we got to be thinking. 4 patterns. 10, 8, 7 on the E to 10B. That 10B needs to be an upstroke. Think of like the guitar solo to the Way from Stryper, 𝐂𝐍𝐒. He does that type of riff. Now I'm going to go back, take the first one off. So I'm going to start on the second note and add one to that scale. 8, 7, E, 10, 8, B. And you can work on them in chunks of 4. 7, E, 10, 8, 7, B. So, accent the first of every 4 harder. 10, 8, 7, B, 9, G. When I get sloppy, I slow it down. 8, 7, B, 9, 7, G. Now I love this little one. You know,